All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. We're super excited to have you. I'm Fred Egler. I'm the product manager lead for our premium product, and I'm joined today by Sam Drackett, who's our senior product manager for premium as well. And we're super excited to do a product walkthrough with you today on some new screener functionality, some insider buying and selling functionality, and some better ways to manage alerts within your premium subscription. And then we will open it up to questions at the end, or really more of like the middle for this 30-minute webinar. We want to make sure we get time to answer the questions that you put into the chat. So, just as a reminder, this webinar will be recorded and we'll send it out a few days after the conclusion of today's webinar. And please type your questions into the chat as we go along. Don't wait until the end of the webinar to type in your questions. So feel free as we go through here to just send in your questions quickly so we can get them after we do the product walkthrough. Before we get into the product walkthrough, I'm just going to go ahead and read the disclosure. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Any views or opinions expressed in the webinar do not reflect those of Seeking Alpha as a whole. Any content and tools on the platform are offered for information purposes only. Seeking Alpha Portfolio is a tool for tracking news and analysis and does not constitute a brokerage account or enable any trading activity. Seeking Alpha does not take into account of your objectives or your financial situation and does not offer any personalized investment advice. Seeking Alpha is not a licensed securities dealer, broker, U.S. investment advisor, or investment bank. Okay. All righty. With that out of the way, I'm going to pass it over to Sam to start our product walkthrough.
Awesome. Thanks, Fred, and hello, everybody. So I want to walk through two specific parts of the platform today. So we're going to take a look at some of the new features for our stock screener tool, and then also take a look at a new table that we've added for insider purchasing and selling stock transactions. So just going to share my screen real quick. Okay. And Fred, let me know if you can see that.
Yep, we can see it.
Awesome. So this is the homepage for our stock screener tool. And for those of you who are not familiar, on the front page, you can also see a lot of helpful pre-built screens for a variety of different industries, different topics that you might find interesting. But if we want to create a new screen from scratch, in the top right, we can click Create New Screen. And this will bring us into the window where you have three parts. You can select the columns or metrics that you'd like to see. We can then apply the filters to any of those metrics that we'd like to apply filters to. And then we can also add a screen name and description in the third tab as well. So one thing to remember is all the metrics here are going to show up as view-only columns until we apply a filter to them. So here we have a couple pre-selected. And if we click Next, we have the option to apply filters here. So any of the dropdowns, for example, market cap, you can see we have a couple different pre-built ranges, but you can also add a custom field for any range you'd like to see as well. And you can do this for any of the metrics that you've selected. And if you click Next, we can also add a name and a description if we'd like to as well. So just to show you what that looks like, here we have no filters applied, but you can see the columns that we've selected. So this is basically the whole universe of stock securities. But if we want to start applying filters, we can click Edit. And we go into that Edit tab. And for example, if we want to click mid-cap at a strong buy quant rating, we can then go into the results again and see how the stock screener has narrowed the results to meet our predefined criteria. And I want to call out two specific metrics in particular that are really interesting, and we've added them recently to the platform. So just to clear out a little bit of space here, we'll keep quant rating. And then if we look at the ratings category, two brand new filter metrics that we've added are days at quant rating, and then also number of Seeking Alpha analysts covering. So let's first take a look at that. What this is showing you in the column for days at quant rating is how long this particular stock has existed at its current quant rating. So in this case, strong buy. And then number of analysts covering is showing you how many recent Seeking Alpha analysts are writing analysis articles about this particular security. So if we go ahead and apply a filter, you can also click right here as well to open the window again. If we wanted to look at a particular range, like let's say greater than 75 days. We can type in a minimum here, and we can just keep this open. We'll click next. So now we can see the narrowed window of all stocks that have a strong buy quant rating for greater than 75 days, which could be a really good indication that it's stable in its current rating. It's been quite a long time. But if you're interested in changing this, we could, for example, switch from strong buy to hold. And then we could also double check if any of these have been at the hold rating for a longer period of time, for example. And so here you see kind of a wider basket of securities. But this is a really powerful tool to leverage with the quant rating system to check how stable a certain stock may have been at that time. And then the other feature that I mentioned, which is interesting, if you're curious about a particular security, you can click the link under number of Seeking Alpha analysts covering. And we'll discard this particular, well, actually, we'll go ahead and save this one. So here, one important thing to call out is when you save a screen, it'll also show up in your left navigation bar so you can access it later in the future, which is really valuable as well. But now that we've saved it, when you click that link, you can now see all of the recent analysis articles for that particular stock right here in the symbol page. And then the second thing that I want to take a look at is the insider selling and purchasing table that we've added to the symbol page. So I'm going to switch tabs here. So this is an example stock, and you'll find on the front page of every symbol page in the summary tab, if you scroll down about halfway, you'll see this new table here for insider selling and buying. And what this is going to show you is recent stock transactions from executive level insiders for any company that the data is available for. So in this example, we can see particular sales transactions from the CEO and the date. And you can also see the total value of that particular transaction as well. Many people may find that buys in particular are an interesting way to gauge sentiment from leadership. So this is a really powerful tool to just try to get a sense of how the executive leadership team feels about the direction of the company. So really exciting tool. And we also hope to add some additional enhancements to this in the future as well. So definitely stay tuned. But yeah, those are the main things I wanted to cover. So Fred, happy to pass it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So that's really helpful. Some really interesting new screener filters that we've got there. Days at quant rating, which you can filter by the number of days, for example, 75, 50, 100, whatever you like. Use that criteria and filter those down, as well as the number of analysts covering. So those are two new filters and kind of a new flow for the screeners as well to make it easier to access the different metrics that you're trying to filter by, view as much data as you want, and save screeners a lot more easily as well. So thanks, Sam, for going through that. I wanted to share my screen and bring up kind of some new and valuable ways that you can manage the alerts on your portfolio much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I'm on the home page of my Seeking Alpha account. I'm going to click into one of my portfolios here. So I'm going to click growth stock, growth portfolio on the left. And what you can see is I've got a custom view set up here, but we wanted to, based on feedback from users, make it easier to manage the alerts that you get based on the tickers in your portfolio. And we've heard, sometimes you get a lot of alerts, sometimes you don't get enough alerts. So we tried to, via this manage alerts button over here on the right, make it a little bit easier for you to actually manage those alerts. And once you click into manage alerts, you can see there's just four really simple options to choose from. And those four options are analysis alerts, which if you check that box, you'll get in-depth coverage from verified analysts. So basically, if you check that box, you'll get analysis articles emailed to you or kind of notifications to your phone based on analysts publishing articles on the tickers in your portfolio. So that's the analysis articles checkbox. There's also the quant rating alerts checkbox. So if you check this box, it'll basically provide you with alerts anytime the quant rating of any of the tickers in your portfolio goes up or down. So you can check this box basically, and it'll set all of those at once. You don't have to go one by one or anything like that. The news alerts, pretty self-explanatory. Breaking news, real time, about, for example, earnings. If one of the stocks in your portfolio announces their earnings or something, important happens and our news team flags a ticker in your portfolio, you'll get a news alert as well. And then the portfolio digest option is basically, as you can see, a daily summary of analysis, news, and ratings on your portfolio. So if you don't want to get, many alerts, or if you just want to get one email per day, the Portfolio Digest is a really good way to basically just get one email per day related to the news, the analysis, the ratings changes in your portfolio. And so, I'm going to just check Quant Rating Alerts and Portfolio Digest. I'm going to hit done, and those alerts are set. And so moving forward, I'll get those alerts. You can click Manage Alerts here on the right to go back into that and just see, check or uncheck or update the specifics that you want to get alerts on. So again, this is based on feedback of making it easier to, set up alerts and providing just four simple options for you in your portfolio: analysis, quant rating, news, and portfolio digest alerts. So that's one alert functionality that I wanted to show you that's new. Another one is just making it more simple to bulk add quant ratings to your quant rating alerts to your portfolio. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new portfolio. I'm going to name it Portfolio One, hit create portfolio. I'm just going to add a few sample tickers here just to show you how this works. So I'm just going down the list. Okay, so I've added a few sample tickers here. I'm going to hit next, but before I hit next, you can see through this flow, you can also sign up for the Portfolio Digest email in here as well, making it easy to do that. I'm going to hit next. And once I get to the next page, there's the add lots modal. So this is where you can actually kind of mimic your existing portfolio and enter the number of shares, enter purchase date, enter the cost. You can enter multiple lots as well for one share or for one ticker. And what you can see here on the bottom is a toggle that prompts you to basically receive an alert when the quant rating of any of these symbols changes. So if you leave this on, you don't have to enter in the number of shares. If you have those shares, great, you can do that. But if you leave this on, you'll just be able to hit skip. And then basically, once you do that, the alerts will be set for this portfolio moving forward. And so the quant rating alerts now are set for this portfolio that I just created. And anytime one of these quant ratings changes, I would get an email or an app alert notifying me of that. And like I did before, if I want to update that, I can just click on Manage Alerts in the top right corner of my portfolio and easily, turn that off if that's not something of interest to me moving forward. So those are just two ways that are making it easier for you to set the alerts that you want to set in your portfolio, kind of meeting you where you are. Maybe you want to get alerts just once per day. Maybe you want to get, ad hoc analysis alerts based on our quant system, or just kind of breaking news on earnings or any important things that the news team thinks are useful for you to know. That's where you can go. And you can toggle on quant rating alerts pretty easily in the add lots flow of your portfolio, as I showed before. So those are just a few helpful ways to be able to set that up. So at this point, I think we kind of went through all the product walkthrough information that we wanted to get through. We can open it up for the Q&A session at this point and answer some questions.
Yeah, I thought it might be helpful real quick, Fred, just to call out those same fields in the portfolio view.
Yep,
So you
that's a
can
great
see
point.
a very similar data point, but in portfolios.
Totally makes sense. So I'm going to go back into a different portfolio. I'm going to go, actually, maybe I'll just show everyone how to delete a portfolio. So this is the portfolio I just created. If you want to delete this, you can hit edit portfolio. And at the bottom of this modal, you can just hit delete and it'll confirm that change. So that's been deleted. I'm going to go back into this growth portfolio. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add edit views. And that'll bring me to the modal to create a custom view. And what Sam is referring to is the two data points we talked about in the screener flow, days at quant rating and number of analysts covering, are also available now in custom portfolio views. So I'm going to search for those in the search bar, consecutive days at quant rating and analyst, number of analysts covering. And I'm gonna, add in, let's see, quant rating as well as essay analyst rating. And I'm probably going to maybe reorder these. So I'm actually going to put consecutive days at quant rating and quant rating next to the symbol. Same with essay analyst. I'm just moving these up and reordering the columns so you can easily reorder the columns. And I'm going to hit done. I'm going to hit apply to this portfolio. I could also apply this view to the other portfolios that I have. Maybe I'll add it to the top rated stocks portfolio that I have as well and hit apply. And so what you can see here is there's five tickers in this portfolio. The days at quant rating column is here. I'm going to sort it by the most, and you can see this one's at 80 and it's in kind of descending order of the days at quant rating, as well as essay analyst ratings. The number of analysts covering is highlighted in this column here as well. So this is also just another place that you can see that helpful information and understand, how long tickers in your portfolio have been at a strong buy, maybe how long they've been at a hold as well could be valuable information for you too. And you can easily click into this essay analyst kind of link and go to a page that shows you the analyses of that specific ticker quite easily. So you can do that in the custom portfolio views as well. I mentioned I put it in the top rated stocks portfolio too, and you can see it in here also. I can sort by days at quant rating. I can sort by number of analysts covering as well and get that information pretty easily there.
Awesome. And one quick thing just to call out, maybe two parts. Someone had asked about linking their brokerage from Schwab, and then another person had asked about using an Excel upload. So maybe
Yeah.
just good to point out where that can be accomplished.
Yeah, for sure. So you can upload both ways and you can do the manual option that I showed as well. So if you wanted to basically create or link your Schwab portfolio, you can hit create portfolio on the left. And then there's the three options here. Create portfolio is the manual option with manual tickers that you add to the portfolio. Link broker is the option that you can link up with Schwab. And then upload CSV will prompt you to upload a CSV in a specific format. That's pretty straightforward. If you click on link broker, it's just going to ask which broker you'd like to link with. Charles Schwab is one of the first ones there. You can go through and it'll, walk you through our flow to basically link that account with Plaid, which is one of our broker linking providers that's extremely safe and secure. So that's the way to do it with Schwab. And then I'm going to exit this and just go back. I'm going to hit create portfolio again. And then you can see those three options come up again. And then I'm going to hit upload CSV. And you can see here, it just gives you some details on what the actual format should be and that you're limited to 500 symbols or 500 rows. So once you upload that, those will, be able to port through as well. So you can do it the manual way by just manually adding tickers, manually adding the lots and all of that information. You can link with Schwab securely or any of the other brokers securely using your brokerage details, or you can upload a portfolio CSV here using a spreadsheet CSV file.
Awesome. And one other thing that would be helpful to pull up is just the front page of the Video Hub. We had a couple questions here about webinars as well as just how-to videos and different content to explain how to use various tools.
Sure. So I'm going to go back to the home page, and there's actually a Video Hub homepage card. So I'm going to click on Customize My Topics, and this Customize My Topics button will take me to another modal that looks similar to the custom portfolio view and the screeners modal. And this is just to pick the order of the cards on your homepage. I'm going to search for the trending videos card, and I'm going to click it there. I'm going to move it to the top. When I hit done, you can see that there's a trending videos homepage card here. And if you click on any of these, it'll take you directly to the video. If I click on see all videos, it'll take me to the Video Hub, which is where all of our webinar replays are, where the investing groups, pro, alpha picks, just more information about those different webinars lives, as well as our premium how-to videos. So if you're interested in learning, for example, how our, founder and CEO uses premium, the replay of that webinar is in this link. I'll send it into the chat right now. If you're interested in, our last webinar session that we did in August, you can check that out. If you're interested in, shorter form videos on how to create, portfolio notes and set a reminder on those notes to come back and check out those notes, you can watch a, 1.5 minute video in here as well. So there's lots of different premium how-to videos in here. And then each one of these kind of categories will show you, latest videos, quant research, investing groups, ETFs, things of that nature. And then there's actually another tab in the video hub here called events, which will show you our upcoming webinars, which you can see they're all in the past mode right now because you can watch all the replays and this one's, actively going up right now. But you can come into seekingalpha.com/events, and that will actually be where you can sign up for future webinars and see those coming through as well. So I just put that into the chat too. But yeah, the video hub, you can see replays, events is where you can sign up for new webinars and events moving forward.
Awesome. And a couple questions about charting. That might be a
Mhm.
good one to call out just from the symbol page, because that is still a fairly recent iteration on the charting tool.
Yeah, totally. So I will pick maybe from this hot themes analysis. I'll pick a ticker. Let's see. Wayfair. Let's go with that one. When I click on that W, it'll take me to the symbol page of this stock. And if I click on advanced charts, I'm going to open it in a new tab. It'll take me to an advanced chart of this Wayfair stock. And Sam, I don't know if you want to kind of provide the talk track here and guide me through. I can jump
Sure.
through as you speak too.
Yeah, so the best place to start is usually going to be indicators. So you can add in something like if you go to the most popular section, you'll see some of the most popular indicators that a lot of people use. So could be a moving average or MACD. And another thing that a lot of people like to do is the line graph tab, kind of the fourth from the right. So you can switch it to maybe like a bar chart or whichever type of chart that you might find most useful. And then you can also switch the time interval as well. So this is a really powerful tool for doing technical analysis. And for any of these applied indicators, you can right click the lines to make specific edits to any of the associated ranges. For example, RSI, you can adjust the levels of overbought, oversold, anything like that.
And there's also some line and drawing functionality as well. If you click this pencil icon on the left, you can add in, different lines and you can kind of draw things as well. So a lot of functionality in here that will save when you come back to it as well. So you'll, be able to come back to one of these ticker symbol pages and kind of see the work that you've already done.
Yeah. And maybe the last important thing to call out here as well is you can save specific views so that if you know what types of indicators, what chart type you typically like, you can create a saved view to make it very quick to apply to any new symbol that you come across as well.
Awesome. And then just the last kind of call out, I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, this will be recorded and sent out a few days afterwards. One other just kind of link to publicize is our weekly investment news quiz. So if I search quiz in here, you'll see that it'll come up under analyst essay news weekly investment quiz. You can follow this page and I'll put it in the chat. Right now. You can go ahead and basically follow that page. And every Friday, you'll get an email that prompts you to kind of take our most recent investment news quiz. Um, every Friday it comes out, and you can kind of test your knowledge against other people. It's quite difficult, so really would be great to test your knowledge and check it out. So we'll send one of these out again tomorrow, and we send this out every Friday. You can share it with others to see how you stack up. But just wanted to make sure that people are aware of that kind of fun functionality that we have that you're able to take too.
Awesome. And it might also be helpful just to quickly revisit where the insider selling and buying table was on the
Sure.
symbol page, because I know a couple people mentioned they were looking for it. So just
So
from
we're on the
the
summary
summary tab.
page. We're on the summary tab here in the symbol page. I'm just going to scroll down. And if you go down past a few of our different categories here, you will be able to get to it right below trading data. So you can see it's probably like the middle of the way down on the symbol page where it says insider selling and buying. And be on the lookout for maybe some new iterations or some new functionality around insider selling and buying on the homepage. So we have it for every symbol on the symbol page here, but kind of to the functionality of the homepage. So I'm going to click on the homepage here. You can see there's kind of bite-sized cards of information of data. We're planning to potentially add some more information around insider selling and buying in the form of a homepage card as well. So keep an eye out for that coming up too.
Awesome. And I know we're getting close to time here, but maybe one last call out that would be helpful is just a quick look at the ETF screener. It's quite
Yeah.
similar to the stock screener, but some key differences.
So in the left nav here, I'm gonna go to the section where it says find and compare. And you can see down here at the bottom, there's a link that says ETF screener. So I can click on that and I can see kind of these created ETF screeners that have already been set up. And I can hit create new screen to actually set one up and add various, inputs like I've done with the others before that are specific maybe to ETFs like fund types and asset class and subclass as well. And I can hit next and see kind of the results of those based on what my metrics are. So I can, edit by strong buy as well and see some of those strong buy ETFs that are set up here too.
Awesome.
And just as again, as a reminder, we'll send out this recording a few days after, and feel free to sign up for our future webinars as well. Make sure to take the investment news quiz, check out the new screeners, save some screeners, and create some custom portfolio views using those new data points that we have. All right, everyone. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Great. Thank you, everyone.